lots of things were said about this film and the context and the environment, but
most of it untrue.
Yes, not a lot of them were true, yeah.
Het in Marokko verboden drama Much Loved volgt 4 prostituees die vastberaden proberen te overleven in een door mannen gerunde wereld.
Why a film about prostitutes?
It's not a film about prostitutes. It's a film about 4 women who are prostitutes. You're going to tell me that it's the same, but for me it's not the same because it's really a portrait of 4 warriors who are fighting for their existence, the right to exist every day, to buy their independence towards the men, you know? And it happens that they are prostitutes. I've spent something like 18 months listening to hundreds of prostitutes.
18 months?
Yes, from all over Morocco. I did some interviews, I heard their stories, I heard their background, why they arrived in that situation, the reason why they're doing that, and also their little stories, you know, their little personal stories.
And were they very willing to tell their stories?
They were more than willing. They felt blessed to be able to let those little stories and this pain come out. And lots of them told me, you see, Nabil, if we had money to go and see every week a psychologist, we would do it. But we have no means for that, and there are not a lot around us. So just the fact that you're listening to us, the fact that we can speak to someone of our reality, which we cannot do the rest of our life, just, it's enough. For us, it's enough.
And was it too much for you at times, maybe? Because they are probably harrowing stories.
What I was hearing day after day impacted me on a way I didn't know it would be. I mean, I was sometime going back home at night, crying, and saying to my wife, I can't. I mean, I quit. It's too much. It's too much. It's more than I can bear. And she was telling me all the time, but you know, Nabil, there's the reality, and this reality you are listening now. It's very important, but then there is the fiction, and the fiction has not the duty to stick to the reality. So dream, build stories with the stories of those women, and that's what we have now in Much Love. Because if I had to depict the reality as it is, I would not have been capable.
ولدك كان مريض هاد السيمانه ديتو للسبيطار خسرت عليه الزباب ديال الفلوس ما بين الطبيب والدوايات انت كاع ما داياها فيه
ما كانش اخباري وكان
ها هي اخبارك
هاك
Those women that are playing in Much Love, they come from popular area. They grew up with prostitutes, neighbors or friends or whatever, so they knew the way they walk, the way they speak, the language is very important. So they fitted me a lot.
There's sex, there's this all parties all the time. Were they easily convinced to play in this film?
The one who play in the film were convinced. And
eventually?
Yes, because I would have never considered to do this film with women that don't know why they're here. Because it's such a sensitive topic that I told them since the very beginning, there will be a film and there will be an after film. And if you're not convinced of what we're doing here and why we're doing this film, like everybody in the crew was convinced, I mean, it's going to be hard for you afterwards. So tell me, please, why do you want to do this film? And when they answered me, we are here to give those women a voice, then yeah, I was convinced that they were convinced.
مرحبا شوف شلون البنات المغربيات يهتمون فيه
والله ترى كلامك صح
مو زي حريمنا يا شيخنا مو زي حريمنا
حريمنا زي الجاموس
والله كلامك صح ما عندك
لسانة بموت في شيء اسمه سعودي
يا سلام سلم حنا اسياد العالم
والنعم
صح وبس
بس في حدا أسيادكم انتو يا أسياد العالم المغربيات
ليش؟ انتوا ما عندكم انتوا بترول احنا عندنا بترول نحن اسياد العالم
واحنا عندنا بترول
اي بترول فيه
احنا بترول بترولكم أسود وعتم ترى احنا بترولنا ملون ومزقطط
Lubna Abidar, she's fearless. How did you find her?
I knew Lubna much more as a consultant at the beginning because she knew this, as I told you, this era. She was born in a popular district, so she told me lots of stories. She told me part of this reality, and she was, she was very much here as a consultant, as I said, than being an actress.
And at one point you thought, she's Noah.
Yes, it's like when you're looking for your glasses everywhere in your house except on your nose. And it happens that just a few weeks before the shooting, I had this vision of having in front of me the Noah that I was looking for. Maybe because she influenced me in a certain way with all the stories that she told me, or the ability that she had to talk about those stories very well. I was traveling with her, you know, and I told her, yeah, it's you. I mean, and let's try. And we tried, and it worked pretty well. And we tried again and again, and yeah, it was her.
رندا بغيت تقدي المشي وديري لي شمشية الحمامة لقاو 6 كيلو القحاب تما
صدقتي
عرفتي باش ما تلفيش جلسي حدايا ما تنوضيش تحت شطحي تحوز تحواي ما كتشوف فيا قحبه كتخسر الهضره باش نهضر بالدمياطي رندا واش كتعرفي ديري 8 بترمتك ومعاك كنهضر الزدب
سمعناك
واليوم نبغي اللي عندها شي تروم يبانوا عليها واللي عندها شي سيغان يبانوا عليها واللي عندها شي شلاقن يبانوا عليها اتفقنا
انا ما تصحيني شي حبيبه عارفاني
كنعرف قحبه من القحاب الكبار ما عنديش باش نخاف
كي ماشي اكثر منك
قالك ليلي ومني تتعلمون.
The film is banned in Morocco. There's legal action. There were death threats. Are you surprised?
I am surprised of the ban because it was done on a very surprising way. The commission didn't see the film even, so the fact that they would just ban the film like that.
On
yes.
a trailer or on hearsay?
On a trailer, absolutely, was very shocking for me. Before that, I was waiting for controversy. I was waiting for debate. I was waiting for lots of people who would not agree with the film and the idea that the film is defending, of course, but not.
That's sort of why you made it. You wanted the debate.
Of course, absolutely.
Lubna, she got death threats as well. You cast her in that role. Do you feel a little bit guilty about what's happening to her?
No. No. I feel sorry for what happened to her. Of course, I was shocked. But you know, last week, I think, she called me and she told me, Nabil, you see, we had some very hard times, all of us with this film, especially me, and we had some very good times also. Like, she's nominated for the César, she won lots of prizes and in the film festival and so on. But she told me, you know, if you call me today and you're telling me, let's do it again, exactly the same way we did it, I would come immediately.